course, we need a great rivalry in sport. I mean, we've got two other guys on the card, George Groves, we'll talk about in a moment, but James Degale as well. In his last fight against Brandon Gonzalez, almost punch perfect, career best performance. Paraban, tough customer. I mean, how confident are you that providing James wins this fight, that match with Carl Froch will be made next year?
I don't know. I mean, you know what Carl Froch wants. There's been loads of talk about it. I think Carl wants James to be as big as possible and for that fight to be as big as possible. And maybe the performance on Saturday will make it as big as possible. You know, but I don't know with Carl. You know, he's chilling out. He'll be there on Saturday night. Every now and again, something will just make him tick. You know, and it might be James calling him out after the fight. You never know.
Yeah. Of course, we got Carl Froch saying about Chavez Jr. If that fight's not made, do you really think that Carl's going to walk away from the sport?
He may be. Listen, he doesn't need. Obviously, don't need the payday. Doesn't necessarily. You know, he's achieved so much. So I think he's happy with how his career's gone. Yeah. Ultimately, he doesn't necessarily need a fight that doesn't get him motivated, and that's the problem at the moment. The Degale fight doesn't quite motivate him yet, but it might do after Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, George, possible showdown with Anthony Dirrell. I mean, if he wins this fight, when is a target date for him to face Anthony?
Well, he's with Sauerland, and you know, I think they're underway now with the WBC. I believe they're talking about negotiations towards the end of December, so hopefully he gets that shot. Pretty sure that'll be in America. And you know, I believe he could cause Dirrell some problems. It's a tough fight. Hopefully he can get the win and set up the fight with Degale, or you know, we've got Callum Smith coming through. Should be the mandatory changer for the WBC by middle end of 2015. So it's great times.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Joshua, obviously possibly his toughest opponent so far. I mean, but it must be great being a promoter of Anthony Joshua. I mean, you haven't got to mould him, you haven't got to develop.
He's the real deal. I mean, in every aspect, you know, commercially, the way he talks, obviously he's fighting. But you know, probably his toughest fight yet on Saturday. But he's moving at such a great pace. He only had 9 fights, you know. So it's difficult when you hear people saying, "Oh, what are you doing? Put him in with him," and he's got to do things right, and he's got to learn, he's got to develop. But at the moment, everything's perfect with Anthony.